Okay, let's unpack this. Anyone who owns a home or is even thinking about it really
Yeah,
needs to hear this.
Definitely.
We need to talk about the real cost and, not just the mortgage payment everyone focuses on.
Exactly. Sources we've been looking at show a pretty significant surge in those other expenses for 2025.
The sort of hidden costs.
Yeah, the hidden costs. And frankly, they're changing how homeowners are thinking about, where they live.
That's interesting. How much of a surge are we talking?
It's actually quite dramatic.
Oh.
Data from Bankrate specifically shows the average annual cost besides the mortgage is now over $18,000
$18,000. Wow. Per year.
per year. And what's really eye-opening is how fast it's grown. That's a 26% jump just since 2020.
26%.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's not pocket change.
Not at all. It directly hits household budgets, and it's forcing people, understandably, to take a much harder look at their numbers.
So this shift, it's leading to a pretty critical question, I guess.
It is.
Are people paying more to actually stay in their current home than it might cost to, move somewhere else?
That's the core question, precisely. And the reason it's so pressing is because of what makes up these often underestimated expenses.
Right. What are we actually talking about here?
Well, think about it. You've got property taxes, which seem to only go up.
Yeah.
Homeowners insurance, also rising fast in many areas. Utility bills, regular maintenance.
The stuff you have to do, like painting or fixing small things.
Exactly. And then the bigger ticket repairs you hope don't happen, but eventually will.
Like a roof or an HVAC system?
A water heater suddenly failing, yeah. Plus, if you're in one, HOA fees. And just, unexpected stuff.
When you start adding all of those up year after year, wow.
Right. They can really start to overshadow that familiar monthly mortgage payment. It can totally change the financial picture of staying put.
The analysis mentions Sarasota, Florida, as a kind of example of this scenario, right?
Yeah, it highlighted how in places like that, the combined weight of these costs can make staying feel, much heavier financially than maybe it did just a few years back.
So, okay, how do you actually figure this out for yourself if staying is costing more than moving?
Well, the analysis we looked at lays out a pretty smart three-step process. Seems logical.
Okay, step one.
Step one is really about getting a, let's say, brutally honest picture of all your current costs.
Not just the mortgage payment again.
No, everything. List it all out. Current mortgage, property taxes, insurance, average utilities, what you realistically spend or should budget for maintenance, any planned upgrades.
Get it all down on paper, basically.
Exactly. And then do the same rigorous exercise for a potential new home.
Okay.
Think about the potential purchase price, down payment, likely mortgage, insurance costs there, taxes, any HOA, closing costs, the actual moving expenses.
The whole shebang for the new place, too.
Got it. Right. Then comes step two. That's the direct comparison.
Side by side.
Side by side. And crucially, don't just look at the new potential monthly payment versus your current one. That's too simple.
What else should you look at?
The real insight comes from looking at the yearly totals, maybe even projecting out 5 or 10 years.
Okay, longer term view.
Yeah. And factor in potential differences in things like property taxes down the line, insurance trends, and importantly, how your equity might grow in either scenario.
Are there tools for this? Or should you talk to someone?
Both, really. There are online calculators that can help. But for something this big, maybe consider talking to a financial advisor or a housing counselor.
Makes sense. Okay, so gather costs, compare thoroughly. What's step three?
Step three brings in the less tangible stuff, but it's just as important.
Like what?
Lifestyle and how long you actually plan to stay. The money isn't the whole story, right?
Sure.
Does your current home still fit your life? The size, the layout, the location, does it still work for you?
Or you're just staying because moving is a hassle.
Exactly. The analysis kind of asks that directly. Are you potentially holding on to a home mostly to avoid the stress of moving, even if the financial numbers maybe don't quite favor it anymore?
That's a tough question to ask yourself.
It is. And this whole deeper evaluation, driven partly by these rising hidden costs, seems to be a big reason why more homeowners are considering selling in 2025.
Not just the money, though, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Changing life goals, kids leaving home, wanting a fresh start, those are always factors. But the cost picture is definitely a major catalyst right now.
So wrapping this up, what's the key takeaway?
I think it's pretty clear. You absolutely have to look beyond the mortgage payment when you're thinking about home affordability.
Understand the full picture.
Yes, understanding the full weight of all those often overlooked costs, Property taxes, insurance, maintenance, all of it is just crucial for making smart decisions about staying or moving.
Okay, so a final thought for everyone listening. Take a minute and consider what hidden costs might be adding up in your current living situation right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you own or rent, really.
Good point.
Really understanding that full financial picture, it could dramatically shape your plans for the future. Definitely something to think about.